this video, I'll be showing you how you can decorate with the new 1.21 blocks. With the new 1.21 update, Minecraft has added so many new blocks to our creative worlds and our survival worlds. So let's see how you can decorate with these new blocks. So instantly, if we go into the search bar, let's see if we can find some of the new blocks. And it looks like that we've came across them. Here are all of the new copper blocks that we have to work with. And this is the total of all of the copper blocks that we have now to work with. All of these can be used for different purposes, like the doors and the trapdoors here. But my favorite out of all of this are these here, the copper bulbs. These copper bulbs here are not only good for a light source, but they're also really good for tea flip-flops. If you're a redstoner, you know what that means. I barely do myself. So basically, what these are is when you turn them on with a redstone, they'll always stay on. And as you can see, with how weathered they are, they'll give off different light levels. The more weathered, the less light they'll give off. And when they're perfectly clean, they'll give off the most. So how you can use these for tea flip-flops is all you have to do is put a redstone comparator looking into it behind it all. And so what this really is an on and off switch with only the button, like this. And it will always stay on and always stay off. Just like that. So now you really do have an on and off switch just using these copper bulbs. It's really handy. But this feature of the on and off doesn't only apply to the tea flip-flops. It also applies to design. For example, maybe you want, well, a lamp. Well, you can just easily do this. And it will always stay on. And so that works really nicely. And depending on the light level you want, if I set it to nighttime, depending on the vibe that you're wanting to go for, you can use the different types of copper bulbs. So you can see the lowest, and it slowly gets brighter. Very nice. But as you can see, it's not the only block that it gave us. We have so many more for detail and for other uses. I've seen multiple people already use these blocks of copper and the copper grates to make trees. As you can see here, we can just make like a tree shape, or somewhat. And then we use the copper grates as leaves. And I'm actually a big fan of how this looks. It's really nice. And you can always put on some copper bulbs and other blocks onto it to make it look with a little more detail. Or you can use the different weathered blocks as the leaves as well. In the sense of detail, I really like this block right here. It will look really nice on our walls, because copper itself can be really plain to look at. So, just with adding a few of these blocks in the middle of it, we'll add a lot more detail. And we can add all of the different colors as well. And now we have something a lot better to look at. But of course, with the 1.21 update, the copper blocks aren't all they came out with. They also came out with more Tuff Blocks. Here are all of the new Tuff Blocks that they have came out with the 1.21 update. Very nice for detail. Before, if we wanted to use bricks, we would just be using the stone bricks. But now we have a lot more detail with the bricks type. Now we can put some Tuff bricks for the bottom to make it look like an actual wall. And then we can mix in some of this chiseled tuff and this chiseled tuff bricks. And it adds so much detail. I really like how they came out with these new blocks. And as you can see, they didn't only come out with the blocks, they also came out with the slabs, walls, and stairs as well. But once again, that's not all that they came out with. There's two more blocks that they have came out that are really good for decorating. The heavy core and the auto crafter. Sure, the crafter has its own uses of actually crafting things inside. But it can also be used for some nice detail. If you can see, if we put two side by side, like this, one here, and one over here, what do you get? A kitchen cupboard. So you could fit these all throughout your house. So let's make a little house, just to show, nothing too fancy, and let's add some of the crafters. And you can see, it really looks like kitchen cupboards. It looks really nice. And then you can also use all of these sides to make some pretty cool shapes with the crafter. As you can see here, it looks really cool. And then we have the heavy core. Even though the heavy core can be used for the new weapon called the mace, once you have the mace, there's no other use for this. So let's try and use them in some decorating. You can always do it like a light, but even though it doesn't give off any light, it still looks decently cool. So mostly you would use the heavy core for probably decoration on shelves or just in a garden possibly. Like this and like this, which actually doesn't look bad at all. And that is pretty much every block that they added in the 1.21 update. Of course, I didn't touch over every single block. That's just because, well, you can't get all of them in survival. So I only did the ones that you can do in survival and creative together. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya, guys!